How do neutral solids move across the plasma membrane? Can the polar molecules also move across it in the same way? If not, then how are these transported across the membrane? So students, this is the question. Now we have a neutral solute. So how does these neutral solids move across the plasma membrane? So neutral solids move across the plasma membrane by diffusion. So we know that plasma membrane, so this plasma membrane is made up of lipid bilayer. So we can find two layers of lipid, phospholipid. So this plasma membrane is a selectively permeable membrane. That means it can allow only certain items to enter inside, but it restricts the other. So this property of plasma membrane is called selectively permeable membrane. So neutral substances are one which can pass through the plasma membrane. So they can pass through this lipid bilayer. So these substances move from the region of higher concentration where they are present in larger quantity to the region where it is present in lesser quantity. For example, here the solutes are present outside the cell in more number. So these substances move from outside to inside. So this process of moving of substance from higher concentration to lower concentration is called diffusion. Only neutral substances can undergo this diffusion. So what are polar molecules? Can they also undergo diffusion? No. Polar substances cannot undergo diffusion. Since this plasma membrane is non-polar in nature, so the polar substances cannot diffuse a non-polar membrane. That means it is not soluble in the non-polar membrane and it cannot pass through the lipid bilayer. So to transport these polar substances in between the lipid bilayer, that is plasma membrane, there is a carrier proteins. So this protein, the substances which have the polar substances bind to these proteins and they enter the cell. So neutral substances, they transport through diffusion, and polar molecules, they are transported through proteins.